Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk, and thanks for watching. We have an abbreviated docket today because we're going live this evening at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So let's get straight to the docket. First, Michael Avenatti. He's broke and he can't pay his attorneys. So guess who's probably going to wind up paying? Second, another guy who thinks he just can't get a break, even though he's dead. Third, an update on the Florida fishing trip massacre. And finally, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk, and thanks for watching. As we stated, we are going live this evening at 6 p.m. Mountain Time on both YouTube and Facebook. Please join us. Set your clocks so you don't miss us. Now, if you haven't already done so, we'd ask that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and as always, leave us a comment below. First on the docket, Michael Avenatti. Remember him? He rose to fame because he was the attorney for Stormy Daniels, who alleged that she had had an extramarital affair with President Trump. Well, Mr. Avenatti got into some trouble. In fact, he was a little overzealous for one of his clients and decided that he deserved, $20 million from Nike in addition to and above what his client was entitled to, so that Mr. Avenatti could do an audit of Nike's promotional system as it related to sports teams, and therefore a small fee of $20 million was appropriate. Well, some people call that extortion, and a jury of Michael Avenatti's peers did so. He was convicted in New York and is awaiting sentencing. He's been released because of the COVID-19 pandemic and is on a house arrest situation in Southern California. Well, and as you can imagine, Mr. Avenatti is no longer jet-setting around the country. No, he is broke. According to his attorney, one of his attorneys who handled the case in New York, who resides in L.A., has filed a motion to withdraw. And in that motion, it states that Mr. Avenatti is broke and that he can no longer afford, nor does the law firm expect to ever receive payment for their work. Mr. Avenatti is expected to apply for the federal public defender, and if there is a conflict, then they will appoint a counsel, a private attorney, under the Criminal Justice Act panel. Therefore, guess what? The American taxpayer will pay for Mr. Avenatti's legal fees and appeals throughout. Frankly, I'm a little surprised it took this long. Mr. Avenatti also has cases pending in California related to the revocation of his law license, but it's also alleged that he stole millions and millions of dollars from clients, i.e. didn't turn over settlements and use money that was theirs for his own purpose, as well as engaging in a tax fraud scheme against the United States government. Mr. Avenatti will more than likely, and I would be shocked if he didn't get prison in the case in New York, as the cases in California have been delayed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Needless to say, Mr. Avenatti's world has completely turned upside down and is of the mindset that he just can't seem to catch a break. We'll continue to follow Mr. Avenatti's case, and we will let you know who his new attorneys will be. Next on the docket, let's talk about this guy. That's right. Take a look. This guy. We're not going to mention his name. Why? Because every time we do, YouTube demonetizes our videos. So this guy, even dead, has problems with legal matters. Obviously, there are civil cases pending against his estate related to the trafficking in children cases that have been ongoing. But now, as it relates to the U.S. Virgin Islands, their Attorney General has issued some 10 subpoenas to banking institutions to try and get around piercing the veil of the estate of that guy. And the reason why is because it's always about the money, all right? one of my 12 undeniable truths, it's always about the money. And when they say it's not about the money, it's about the money. Well, the Attorney General of the Virgin Islands wants to get to the money. And the only way he can do that is to show that the banks should not have engaged in various transactions and that they should have been flagged for suspicious activity. And that's what the Attorney General is doing. Now, attorneys for the estate of that guy say that, what are you doing this for now when you didn't do anything when the guy was alive and these allegations were out there floating about? So drop it is what that guy's attorneys are saying, and they simply want to be left alone. Somehow I think that they're not going to get it. And of course, that guy thinks he just can't get a break even now that he's dead. Now, we'll continue to follow things related to that guy. And just when you think things couldn't get worse for that guy, that's right, they're selling his plane. Now, remember, that guy had 3 planes, a 727, a Gulfstream G550, as well as multiple helicopters. Now, that guy loved this plane, and this was the plane that he last flew on when he was arrested at Teterboro and taken into custody. This 2007, so it's slightly used, but only 4,000 hours, which is pretty low time for the engines on that particular plane, is going for a cool $61 million. And as you recall, we talked about it last week, his residence in New York was going for a cool $80 million, and his Miami estate was going for another 20. So we were talking close to $100 million plus this little bad boy jet. Now, a little tear comes to my eye, not for that guy, but for that plane. Because as many of you know, I fly, I love aviation, and the only thing that could possibly be better than a Gulfstream 550 would be a Gulfstream 650, all right? Now, a little out of my reach, before they put the interior in, a new one, you're probably looking about $70 million. So this one has really maintained its value pretty well. So you can always change the tail number, you can change the paint, you can redo the interior, which was redone in 2017, so it's like brand new. Not knowing what was taking place on that thing, though, if you can afford $61 million, you'd probably want to have the interior done yourself in your own style, just to kind of cleanse it. But it's a steal at $61 million. And you know who won't be getting some of that money? That's right, the alleged Madam Maxwell, who is on day 26 of the suicided watch. 26 days has gone by, and she has not been suicided. And curiously enough, 26 days from the day that she's arrested, still no booking photo of the alleged Madam Maxwell. Even though it's an abbreviated docket, let's take a quick recess. Please go to CrimeTalkSearch.com, sign up for your background subscription service. All right? When you do this, you will be able to search as many names as you want. You can do it anonymously, and you get a report generated while you wait. And that report will have email addresses, phone numbers, social media information, background checks related to criminal history, civil records relating to divorce, property records, and civil judgments. We've had more people contact us that said, I was going to go into business with somebody and found out they had been convicted of fraud. We had people contact us and say, I wasn't going to get involved with somebody, and it turned out they had offenses related to children. Thank God they signed up. You need to sign up for your background subscription service. It'll be the best money you ever spent. Sign up at CrimeTalkSearch.com. You'll be happy you did. Next on the docket, an update on the Florida fishing massacre trip. As you may recall, this story broke really last week with the arrests of Tony T.J. Wiggins, who is accused of killing 3 men once he knew that one of the gentlemen that he had a beef with was going camping, and he learned this information standing behind them at a dollar store. T.J. Wiggins ultimately went to the campsite, shot and beat all 3 men. His brother and his girlfriend were with him. They were all arrested, and it was reported that for a period of time shortly after the murders that these individuals were going off the grid, staying at a compound that had no running water. Well, it turns out that compound was owned by the father of TJ Wiggins, and his name is Tony Wiggins, 58. Take a look at this guy. When the police arrived, it apparently was absolutely filthy. And according to police reports, now the elder Wiggins face charges relating to operating an unpermitted landfill, improperly built or maintained septic tanks, unpermitted waste tire storage, causing conditions that breed flies, mosquitoes, and other arthropods capable of transmitting diseases, as well as illegal use of dairy cases. Didn't know that was a crime, but apparently it is. And guess what? He has been charged with those offenses. Apparently, the place was gross with literally no running water, visible feces around the area, trash stacked up. It was gross. It was a health hazard. Frankly, given what we know about TJ, it's not surprising at all that this is the circumstances that they were living in. Next on the docket, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. And our dumb criminal contestant of the day is a young, aspiring entrepreneur who seems quite eager to take advantage of the situation that presents itself. Yes, our dumb criminal contestant is David Hines. He is a 29-year-old man, and he is charged with multiple counts of bank fraud. It is alleged, and we'll give him the presumption of innocence, that he filled out 7 separate loan applications with the Bank of America seeking a total of $13.5 million in the PPP, or the Paycheck Protection Program. Apparently, Mr. Hines represented that he was going to support some 70 employees with those funds. As it turned out, Mr. Higgins has no 70 employees. He went out there, obtained the money, and deposited some $3.9 million in some other unrelated business accounts. He paid back some money, went on a crazy spending spree, including a $318,000 Lamborghini. Now, I won't deny that buying a 2020 Lamborghini Huracan is not a good buy. Beautiful automobiles for sure, but you should do it with your own money. That's right. People get suspicious when you start stealing money, and who hates getting stolen from the most? That's right, the federal government. Investigators quickly found out that this information was not true, apparently from tips from others, and now Mr. Hines was arrested but released on a $100,000 bond. I'm curious where he got the money, since all of his money through his payroll protection plan payments had been seized. Mr. Hines, you are our dumb criminal contestant of the day. Congratulations. Please join us tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, where we will go live on both YouTube and Facebook. And immediately after that, we will go to our Patreon private Crime Talk conversation. So if you haven't become a Patreon member, now is your time to do it. Have a great day. We'll see you later tonight when we go live.